Hello to everyone watching this. And you may have heard on a place or two that there is snow coming to the Portland area and maybe the Willamette Valley in really just less than 24 hours and over the weekend. So, how much could come and how much will be snow versus freezing rain versus rain? Well, let's find out. But first, just the main watches and warnings for the National Weather Service. The Portland area proper down to about Wilsonville and on up to the southern portion of the Seattle metro area is under a winter storm warning, while the Columbia Gorge is under a blizzard warning. Just if you're in there, please don't travel, please. Then and then the central Willamette Valley, McMinnville, and Salem are under winter weather advisory because it will be a little warmer. Plus, any winter accumulations won't be as bad while there is no winter weather watch advisory or warning down the South Valley. That doesn't mean you won't get any wintry precipitation. It just means you'll likely get a little less or the chance is lower. So just to show you what the setup is, let me get my pen out. So the big setup is we have a low pressure system coming into Portland, and that will come to the south of Portland, probably right around Aurora or so. What this does is this brings cold air from the east through the Columbia Gorge and into Portland. East Portland gets the cold air first, western areas of the metro area get it later, and it thins out the further south it goes. The further south the low positioned is, the further it goes into the Willamette Valley. If this low goes too far north, say towards Kelso or Longview, then this wouldn't happen and the snow would move up to Seattle. I don't think that northern scenario is going to happen. It's not out of the question, but it looks like the more southern scenario of around Aurora, Woodburn, or Wilsonville is going to happen. So for snow totals Thursday into Friday, getting back to my laser pointer here. So this is either equivalent freezing rain or snow totals in general. So especially for the South Valley and Central Valley, many of you won't be seeing much or anything, especially around Eugene, likely not around Corvallis. So there is a 2 to 3 hour window I'm watching that you may be getting some freezing rain. Salem, a little more, but overall 0 to 4 inches. That would equate to nothing more than about a quarter of an inch of freezing rain, maybe half of an inch at the absolute most towards these northernmost areas. But as we go into Portland, and the further up you go or the further east you go, the more snow you get, 2 to 6 inches or an equivalent freezing rain amount. So about quarter of an inch of freezing rain is an alternative for the Portland area. The Gorge, big snowstorm, 8 to 16 inches. Cascades are scoring 12 to 24 inches. But this is not the only event. This is kind of the warm-up or the setup before the main event. Now that all the conditions are primed, this event from Friday into Saturday, the second system, will be the bigger one. It will seem like one continuous event, maybe a couple hour of a break on Friday, but nothing really too much. Again, South Central Valley, especially south of Salem, I don't see a lot for you down there. There's a chance you could. Some of the data is showing that there is going to be more snow on this than on Thursday. I'm not sure if I buy that, considering the east wind out of the gorge will not be as strong on that day. However, for the Portland area on up, I'm actually expecting 4 to 10 inches of snowfall on that day. While that's a little aggressive, this is the kind of scenario that does tend to under forecast snow, so I'm going to be a little bit on the higher side in this case. I may end up changing this tomorrow in case it ends up either being a little warmer or there's less moisture than I anticipate. The Gorge, I still anticipate another 8 to 16 inches, and another foot to 2 feet in the Cascades, and over central and eastern segments of Oregon and Washington, 2 to 8 inches, mainly south of I-90, although some flakes will make it north of I-90. Total events, this is everything added together, either snow or equivalent, freezing rain or sleet. So South Central Valley, not a lot. Some of the extreme scenarios are showing up to 8 inches, so I'm saying 0 to 8 inches just to compensate for that. Portland area north, 6 to 16 inches. There are some data points that are showing you may receive more. Some they're saying you may receive less. This is just what my gut feeling is based on all the meteorological data that I can gather. The gorge, 16 to 32 inches. I highly doubt the gorge will be passable until at least Monday, if not Tuesday. And then the Cascades, 2 to 4 feet. There may be an additional event on Sunday into Monday, but it's starting to warm up at that point, and I expect that to be more of a transitionary event, and it's too far out to forecast any snow totals. There are way too many variables to still be accounted for on that. Just to show you one of the more extreme scenarios, this is one of the what we call weather computer models that we use, and this one is headed by UW up in Seattle, and they're showing that the entire Willamette Valley north of about Junction City could receive up to a foot of total snowfall. This is not the accumulated snow, this is just snowfall, while surprisingly less snow up above Vancouver. Some depictions pointed towards further north. I'm putting it right about the middle, like I mentioned before, right about Wilsonville to Aurora being the cutoff line between snow and freezing rain. So you may have also heard on some TV stations that this could be a historic snow event, and they are not kidding for the potential. It might not be historic, but there are 3 big records that I think are in jeopardy. The snowiest February day, I think that could happen on either Friday or Saturday. That is 6.1 inches for a calendar day. That's not 24-hour period. The snowiest February of all time is 13.2 inches. My highest ceiling was 16 inches. So this one I think is relatively safe, but it is still possible we could break it. I'd say no more than about a 20% chance if I'm being generous. The last day to fail to exceed 28 degrees is February 7th. I do have a day where we fail to exceed 28 degrees. It's actually 27 degrees, but we'll get to that in a second. So I came up with 2 7-day forecasts. This first one is for Corvallis. So I don't really see a lot of wintry precipitation, really just Thursday into Friday. I don't see the Friday to Saturday scenario playing out as much for you. I think that will be a mainly Salem and North event. I think the main threat could be some freezing rain Thursday night into Friday morning. If anything at all, that is highly up in the air, and everything must play out right in order, or wrong depending on your point of view, for that to happen. High temperatures mainly in the low to mid 40s before gradually warming up to the upper 40s Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Maybe some sun breaks in there later. It will stay wet though. However, for Portland, any temperature in blue is a record low high temperature or tying a record low high temperature for the date. So Thursday, I think it'll start as rain, transition to freezing rain or sleet, and then snow. Probably the transition will be completed at about 6 p.m. for most locations east of the Willamette River, and by 9 p.m. west of the Willamette River, it could happen earlier. That high temperature will likely happen at about 1 a.m. It will not be 38 degrees at 3 o'clock like we normally have it. Friday, big snowstorm under what I'm predicting. It's possible that could change to ice though. 27 degrees I have as the high. That would be the latest Portland has ever seen. 27 degrees as a high temperature or less in the winter. Saturday also a snowstorm. I think it will taper off in the afternoon hours, and there should be a break by the evening hours. I still have it below freezing. There's a chance it could get above freezing if a few sun breaks pop through in the early afternoon hours, though. Sunday is that transition day I talked about. It may start out as snow for the East Metro, transitioning into freezing rain. For West Metro, it may just start out plain old freezing rain or rain. It will eventually start to transition by Sunday night as the temperatures begin to warm up to 40 degrees by midday Monday, as it will not cool down that much on Sunday night. Maybe a little snow on Monday morning, but I think that will be restricted to far East Metro area. And then back to traditional weather of some rain, some sun breaks on Tuesday and Wednesday, highs in the low 40s, so it will stay a little colder than average. Please stay tuned as I may be posting more videos if needed as updates progress. Otherwise, please stay safe out there. Please don't travel unless if you have to. And if you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section below on either the YouTube video or on the Facebook comment section that I will be posting this on as well. Take care.